Hi everyone! Alright, let's get all of the social security ish on these national applications straight. Time to break it down! So there's plenty of information and videos on how to fill out the Common App and make the best application possible to get into your top universities. And the same goes for FAFSA. Super detailed info on what all the steps are to fill it out. But what the crap do you do about the citizenship section, or if they ask for your social security number? That's what this episode is all about. So now we're gonna switch on over to the application, and my lovely voice will guide you through this. The Common Application is a general college application that students can use to apply to many colleges across the country, and it's actually quite simple for undocumented students to navigate. Once you create your account, you will be taken to your dashboard. Simply click on the Common App tab. You'll be taken to your application profile where you'll fill it out with all of your personal information before actually filling out the main portions of the application. Scroll down and you will see a citizenship drop-down menu asking you to select your citizenship status. Choose Other. Then, 2 more questions will pop up. First, list all of the countries which you are a citizen of. Then for the third question, currently held United States visa, select I do not hold a currently valid US non-immigrant visa. If you need help or forget what to do on this section, there's a very nice sidebar on the right that gives you directions on how to fill out your citizenship information. It says DACA status, but this is relevant even if you don't currently have DACA. Also be aware that some states may require an affidavit of intent to become a permanent resident, just like we talked about in earlier episodes, but they're not provided by the Common Application. You'll need to contact the schools that you're applying to and ask if this is a required document. The FAFSA is a bit more complicated. FAFSA stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, and it's used largely to apply for federal financial aid. Recent changes to the application due to the advocacy efforts of United We Dream now make it clear that we can use our DACA social security numbers to fill out the FAFSA online. But if you don't have DACA, you will have to fill out a paper version of the FAFSA. But Sheridan, why would I want to fill out the FAFSA? I ain't eligible for federal aid as an undocumented student. The importance of filling out the FAFSA in states that don't have their own state financial aid applications is that there may be private scholarship providers who have undocu-friendly scholarships and simply want to use the information on the FAFSA to determine if you are eligible. So, if you don't fill out the FAFSA in these states, you're shutting yourself off from funding resources that you may otherwise be eligible for. To find the paper version of the FAFSA, just Google the paper FAFSA and the year you're applying to school. Your application should look something like this. The online electronic application can be found at fafsa.gov, and you will have to apply for a PIN using your DACA social security number before you can begin filling out the application. Out of the two, the paper version is honestly much easier to fill out, especially if your parents don't have a social, but we'll explain why later in the video. In the student demographic information section, the very first thing to fill out is your name, social security number, and date of birth. Here you can put your DACA social just like with your PIN. Further along on the online version, you'll be asked if you have lived in your state for more than 5 years. If you select no, some questions will pop up that can be pretty confusing. In this portion, the term legal residence simply means where you have lived. It has nothing to do with your undocumented status, so simply put where you live and how long you've lived there. This corresponds with questions 18 through 20 on the paper FAFSA. Then, on the online FAFSA and question 14 on the paper, select No, I am not a citizen or eligible non-citizen. On the parent demographics section, you will be asked for their social security numbers, where you will put all zeros. If they use an ITIN to pay their taxes, do not get confused and put it here. There's a handy-dandy reminder in the side window that'll remind you. This corresponds to section 4, questions 61 and 65 of the paper version FAFSA. The next tricky part is about taxes. You'll need to fill out a section for you and your parents. If your parents do not file taxes, simply put, will not file. If they do, you can check out this video to help you get this portion and the student tax information portion of the application under control. The last portion is the signatures. You'll be able to electronically sign your FAFSA, but if you are a dependent student and have undocumented parents with no social, they will have to print the signature page, physically sign it, and mail it in to the following address: If you're going with the paper version, you won't run into this problem. So again, remember, the paper version of this application is going to be your best bet. So start early, and if you have any questions, make sure to get in contact with FAFSA officials in the Department of Education. See you next week for College Uncomplicateds on DocU. Let's get started with all the Social Security gish on these, oh, that's not right. Let's get all of the Social Security ish on these national